Mr. Steve Appleton, Chairman and CEO of Micron Technology, Mr. Dave Bagley, Vice President, Intel Corporation, Mr. Chan, the CEO of IMFlash, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. May I congratulate Intel and Micron on the grand opening of this NAND flash wafer fab. It marks a milestone for the semiconductor industry in Singapore, and at $3 billion US, it's one of the largest investments in Singapore and will bring significant spin-offs to supporting industries, as well as many good jobs for our people. This wafer fab is state-of-the-art. It's our first 300mm NAND facility, and it manufactures the NAND flash memory chips using 25nm process technology. It's the most advanced volume production process for semiconductor and memory chips today, and such leading-edge capabilities will strengthen our semiconductor industry and keep us in the business. And it's important for two reasons for us: good growth and good jobs. The semiconductor industry is the fastest growing segment of our electronics cluster. Last year, it expanded by 64%, 2/3 in 1 year. And electronics underpins our manufacturing sector, which is a key pillar of the Singapore economy. In the last 10 years, our semiconductor industry has consistently outpaced global industry growth. So despite competition, despite new players, we are maintaining and growing our market share in this business. And this strong performance has contributed significantly to our economic growth and prosperity. The second reason the project is important to us is that it creates good jobs. IMFlash Singapore employs 1,200 workers. Of these workers, 6 in 10 are residents, either Singaporeans or PRs, and the other 4 in 10 are foreign workers. Now, if you look at the different jobs in the company, in the technician and manufacturing jobs, 2/3 are foreign workers. But in the managerial and professional positions, 2/3 are Singaporeans. So, by putting Singaporeans and foreign workers together, we have put together a first-class labor force which has been able to meet the needs of demanding first-class multinationals so that we can produce a first-class plant in Singapore. Without that, we would not have attracted this $3 billion investment, and Intel and Micron would still have grown and would have built its wafer fab elsewhere. I would hazard to say not quite as good a place as Singapore, but they would have found a place. But by allowing in a controlled number of foreign workers, far from disadvantaging our own people, we have created more good jobs for Singaporeans and more opportunities in our economy. And if we look at it in actual numbers, it's 60-40. So for every one foreign worker whom we have brought in, we have created 1.5 jobs for Singaporeans and locals here in IMFlash. If you take the semiconductor industry as a whole, in Singapore, they employ 40,000 workers. And last year, 3,300 new jobs were added, many of them skilled, high-paying, with good opportunities for advancement, jobs which Singaporeans will take up. And therefore, we would like to see semiconductors and advanced wafer fab as key areas which should grow and develop over time in our economy. The global semiconductor industry is fiercely competitive. Singapore is competing as a location to host plants, but companies like Intel and Micron are competing to produce the next generation, to be up there with the best products, fastest to market, most reliable, most valuable for many other products needing chips and semiconductors. Today, Singapore is the second biggest in the world in terms of wafer capacity compared to other cities. You can't compare to countries because they may be several hundred times bigger, but if you compare to other cities, well, we're the second biggest in terms of chips in the world. But the only way to keep this advantage is to stay at the forefront of technology, bringing in advanced operations like this NAND flash wafer fab, also by investing in R&D. And for the next generation memory chips, A-STAR's Data Storage Institute leads our R&D efforts. And the Data Storage Institute, DSI, is looking into technologies to make memory chips with 10 times more storage density. That means for each chip, same size as before, to be able to store 10 times as much information inside there. It could be songs, it could be pictures, it could be videos. You can have a lot of songs on one chip if you do that. And you can put it into smartphones or whatever other devices people dream up. So DSI's work, the Data Storage Institute's work, will provide support for the electronics industry in Singapore and help us to maintain our status as a leading data storage and memory hub in Asia. The semiconductor industry is also a risky and a cyclical business. It goes up, it goes down. Every month you watch the book-to-bill ratio, and every month the number is different. And from the time you conceive and decide on the plant to the time when it comes on stream, in this plant, 5 years, more than one cycle has passed, and the roller coaster is quite exciting to ride. I know the facility has faced some challenges along the way. In 2008, construction had to be put on hold because of the memory of the global financial crisis, which led to a downturn in the demand for memory chips. But because of the hard work and active cooperation between EDB and the two partners, Intel and Micron, project was restarted and now is completed, ahead of time. So I'd like to commend those who worked on the project for pushing ahead, overcoming the obstacles, and getting here. And I'd like to thank Intel and Micron for their continued confidence in Singapore, in our government, and in our people. Our ability to ride these ups and downs is a key survival trait for a small country. You can be sure we will face new crises in future. Don't know where, don't know when, but it will come. And therefore, we need to stay nimble, resilient, and cohesive to ride through the storms. And of course, we also need capable leadership throughout our economy and society and government. People who can anticipate problems, people who can plot a safe path through the dangers and find new ways to maximize our opportunities. We can expect more competition in future. Therefore, we must keep ourselves a compelling business location with an attractive business and regulatory regime, harmonious labor relations, stable government, rational and consistent policies year after year, and a strong commitment to work through the problems and challenges with investors. We've done this for decades, and we're determined to keep it up. And we'll work together to keep Singapore growing and prospering and creating good jobs for our people. Thank you very much.
Thank you.